I have a feeling that the prosecutors in the Kyle Rittenhouse case are about to get busted. Here's why. During the Ricada Law stream yesterday, someone in the chat noticed somewhere else in the trial proceedings that the prosecutors had a piece of software on the trial laptop that they were using called HandBrake. HandBrake is software I use all the time. It's used for video transcoding and transforming. Basically, you can make format edits. You can re-encode it to a couple of different codecs, and you can make edits like borders, cropping, flipping it, rotating it 90 or 180 degrees or whatever. The point is, it's basically rudimentary video editing software that you can't edit like cut clips out so much. It doesn't let you do time edits, but it does let you do edits to the framing and all that. And the problem is that the prosecution was caught sending the defense modified footage. Now, sorry, I'm still a little sick. Here's the problem with that modified footage and their BS explanations about how, oh, the email must have, the provider of the email must have shrunk the video for, without us knowing. First of all, the footage itself, the original footage, is questionable because it's in a weird aspect ratio that doesn't correspond to anything that I am aware of. It's supposed to be drone footage, and the standard camera footage ratio is 16 by 9. 1080p would be 1920 by 1080. 4K would be 3840 by 2160. Basically, 4 1080p frames in a 2x2 configuration. Ooh, it got dark. And I'm just going to use auto ISO if that's the way it's going to be today. So, excuse me. So what's going on there, first of all, is that if it's 1920 by, what was it, 843 or something? I can't remember the exact number, but first of all, most encoders of video require a multiple of 2 for the axes, so I don't know how they would get an odd one without using, making some kind of change to pixel aspect ratios. We're getting deep into weird video territory here already, but even if we ignore the whole odd number possibility, let's also consider that 1920 by 800 anything is not 16 by 9. The vast majority. And I'm not a drone expert. There could be some weird drone. They could have been using some weird anamorphic lens. So why anyone is using an anamorphic lens on a drone like that, I'm not sure. And even if they were, I'm pretty sure that that doesn't correspond to typical anamorphic resolutions either. But it doesn't make any sense as to how it would come out to that ratio in the first place. If you were using a drone for any kind of surveillance, you would want as much data as possible. You'd want as much field of view as you could get, and you can always crop it down later. So 1920 by 1080 is a very typical resolution. A lot of drones now are 4K. They're 3840 by 2160. But assuming that it was 1920 by 1080 originally, someone had to crop the original footage down to that 843. Or 800, whatever it is, what are they hiding in that extra 1 to 200 pixels? What's missing? Where did that go? Did they cut the top, the bottom, both? What? Then there's the supposedly rescaled without our knowledge because prosecutor and glitch herded her much smaller and oddly named wrong defense copy of the file. So the original ends in a 6 and the defense one ends in a 9. That is a numeric keypad typo. That is just an obvious numeric keypad typo. That instead of a 6, they put a 9 because the 9 is right above the 6 on a numpad. Oops! Oh, so that's the file name in question. Now, they won't change the file name, these providers, Dropbox, Gmail, any of that. They won't change the file name like that. Second, if it was downscaled, re-encoded to a much lossier compression, it would still be the same aspect ratio, and it would not have some of the other problems. This is truly the damning thing for me, is that someone noticed that the footage provided to the defense not only was 1/4 the size in both axes, but also that this quarter size video in each direction, which means 1/16 the data is what the defense got, also had black bar cropping. So the edges were cut off with some black bars. Now, HandBrake can do that. Black bar cropping is where you have, like this video here, you know, you've got the frame, but let's say the edges of the, I can't reach the edge of the frame, there you go. Let's say the edge of the frame here was replaced with black, but kept in the technical video frame. So if you took a screenshot, you'd see me, and then over here and over here, you'd have these black bars that come in, but they're part of the video. So for example, if the aspect ratio of that video mismatched the display and you full screened it, the black bars make the video seem wider than the actual visual data is, and you could end up with a black box around the whole thing. But what was cropped off the top and bottom in the original? What was cropped off the sides in the black bar cropping on the defense's copy? And this is the thing. This black bar cropping thing doesn't happen. It's not automated. It has to be done manually. And the prosecution had HandBrake on their trial laptop, a tool that can be used to transcode, resize, and crop and black bar crop video. Obviously, there is no causal link, but the fact that the footage mysteriously appeared from an unknown informant, they don't know who it is who dropped it off, that person has not testified, and I mean, that automatically should have gotten it thrown out. But, worse than that, the footage is weird, so someone probably edited it. There's evidence that someone edited it before. Either the prosecutors edited it before they were, like, working with it at all, or the person who handed it off edited it, and someone needs to answer for that. So the so-called original may be edited. Then, and we don't know what else was done. We just know that the vertical aspect is not right, and is pretty clearly wrong and edited. We don't know if they did linear edits. We don't know if they cut beginning and ending context off that could make a difference. So that's all a big unknown. So the original footage is probably edited, and we don't know how. The defense footage is obviously edited. The prosecution has the tool on their laptop in the courtroom right now that could be used to do those edits. And the defense footage was renamed with a number pad typo that is easily possible to do, even if you just saw the 6 wrong and put a 9. Easily possible to make that mistake. I mean, it's a typo. There may not be a smoking gun, but maybe there is. See, here's what needs to happen, and this is what's not going to happen because the defense are stupid, the judge doesn't want to do anything, and the prosecutors are doing a garbage job too, all because everyone's afraid of the mob. But this is what should happen. HandBrake has a log directory that keeps, and it doesn't auto-delete in general. It has a log directory it keeps by default for all of the transcoding jobs that get done. Someone needs to take the prosecutor's trial laptop, look at the HandBrake log directory, and see if there's a log for that MVI whatever 6 video file. They need to go in there and look for that log. If there is a HandBrake transcoding log for that video file on that prosecutor's trial laptop, that is beyond a smoking gun. That is direct evidence. That is undeniable evidence that the prosecution did exactly what I just said. They're not going to do it because these people are incompetent, and it's unfortunate. But, you know, there you go. There's my technical breakdown of all the problems with the drone footage in the Rittenhouse case, and how they could catch the guy red-handed, and how they're not going to do it. Because the problem is, if they do catch the guy red-handed, guess what? Everybody outside riots. But they're going to do that anyway, so I don't know why anybody even bothers. Alright, I'm going to let you go. Like, comment, subscribe. You can financially support me at my website, jodybruchon.com. Look down in the description for links to other video hosts, since I am a bit disenfranchised with YouTube. Thanks very much for watching again, and take care. Have a wonderful day. Hope this thing works out for the best.